Hi, my name is Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses with SuccessfulBlackWoman.com. I'm here today with my good friend Shaquita Graham with LovingTheBlackMan.com. How are you doing today, Shaquita?
I'm doing great, Noma. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I've been seeing a story for the last couple of days, as I'm sure you've seen it, I'm sure everybody else has seen it, about the Red Cross. And I eventually went and looked and said, what is the big deal? What's going on? And the controversial poster is basically, well, you know what? I won't explain it. Why don't you show it and tell us?
Okay. So the Red Cross has conveniently put this poster up at the pools around aquatic centers around the country. I don't know how many, and I'm not sure exactly which ones, but the American Red Cross Hospital has this sign in Fort Morgan, Colorado. And this is the one that's at the center of a race controversy here. And as you can see, it's talking about be cool and follow the rules. But the only people who are not following the rules are Black kids, right? So everywhere the Black kids are in the pool is where the violation is. I guess except for the the lifeguard right here. I almost wanted to call her a coon. You know, they're like, we need our coons to protect us against the black kids not being good. But the one cool person they have there is a white person with their child trying to enjoy themselves despite all, and the other little white girl right here trying to enjoy themselves despite all of the undisciplined Black children. What'd you think, Noma?
So undisciplined is putting it mildly. They are all bad. Okay. I mean, did you see the little girl, the little bad little Black girl shoving the other little white girl into the pool? And again, you know, we had a conversation just before we recorded the segment. To me, when I look around, I see validation for a decision that I've made years ago of removing my kids from the public school system here in the U.S. This is actually something that is so telling of what happens, okay? It's not really about whether the kids are good or bad. It's that there's a perception that is already set before they even get into a situation that they are bad. So any behavior that they exhibit, good or bad, is going to have this tint of badness on it, okay? To be honest, a little girl shoving another little girl is not a big deal. They're little kids, they do that. You see what I'm saying? But look at the
white and Black.
Huh? What?
White and Black.
Right. And again, all kids do it. But the thing is, if the person who's in charge has the perception that the little brown ones are bad and then the non-brown or non-Black ones are good, everything's going to be colored by that. And imagine what that means for your child when you put them in the hands of a person who thinks like that. At what, 5 years old, they go to kindergarten, all the way until they're 18 years old and about to go to college and out into the world. And they've had that programming that you're bad. Everything you do is bad. You're going to be bad. You're going to be bad, bad, bad. You're bad, bad, bad. You know, and then that brings up this conversation that we constantly have about what started out about the prison pipeline the conversation now is a preschool to pipeline, meaning that labeling and that programming and that effort to put these kids in this system starts at 5 years old. So as a mom, what do you think, Shaquita?
Well, I think it's, again, more of the same. It is the purposeful propaganda to degrade the image of Black people so that it is made to be all right when they are harmed publicly, privately, or on an institutional level. And this type of propaganda is what allows the whole thing that took place in McKinney, Texas, where the police officer pointed a gun at young Black kids at a pool, assaulted a young Black woman. And of course, they've decided that, you know, none of that was wrong because the bad kids at the pool, you know, this whole persona. And to be honest, when I was growing up and even now, everybody has the image of being in the grocery store and you seeing little kids, certain little kids, flipping the heck out in the grocery store, hitting their mama, kicking other people, knocking everything off the aisle. You never see a poster about that, though. I've seen that a million trillion times. So, you know.
And your mom always looked at you like, you know good and well what would happen to you if you did that.
Right. Your mom is like, don't think about it, right? Mm-hmm. So again, it's just this propaganda that I hope that, you know, in Black society, we understand what these codes mean, what these symbols mean, and we act accordingly. And like you said, you know, I had to pull my children out of the system because I just could not trust these people with my children, because they have a persona of me, they have a persona of them. And that is the thing. As a Black person, you cannot think that everybody thinks like you. Just because you wouldn't use somebody's baby as alligator bait doesn't mean that other people would not. You cannot project your morality on others.
Absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes kids can go into a situation and the situation is not bad. But as for me, I'm not taking that chance. I'm not taking that chance. Not with my babies, okay? I'm not going to put them in there and hope for the best and then react to a bad situation after they've damaged my child or after they've damaged my children. I just won't do it. And again, Go ahead.
Especially when studies show it to be true. I mean, now we're not just talking about things that we want to believe are true. The UN is coming out with a study about how poorly Black people are treated in the school system. We know this has been going on for centuries. We know that white women stood in picket lines with their kids with posters saying, we don't want any ends at our school. Why are you trying to force them to have ends at their school? They don't want ends at their school. Let it go. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So that those people don't think that they don't have that same mindset. Not only that, there is a heinous history of harming Black people in this country. So why do you think you're going to go into a situation and all of a sudden those same people that have a history of harming you are all of a sudden going to open their arms to you and embrace you? School is like a second home for children. They're gone there all day long. You don't really know what's happening. You don't know how your children are being treated. And it doesn't just go for schools. I'm suspect at the hospital. The little girl just got hurt at the dentist. I don't know that full story, but I'm just saying that there is a report that says that medical students and other medical practitioners have these false beliefs about Black people not feeling as much pain, having thicker skin, and that also determines how the type of treatment that they get.
Right. So, yes, they don't believe Black people when they say they're in pain, and they don't believe that their pain level is as high as other people. And that also, again, is going to be a thing where are they going to exercise as much care, compassion, and caring for you? No, they're not, because they don't feel like you're in that much pain. And quite honestly, I wouldn't be as careful with a person who I thought wasn't in pain as I was with somebody who I thought was in a lot of pain, regardless of their race. So that perception is problematic. And I wanted to talk about perception again for just a minute and go back to this poster that we're talking about from the Red Cross. I believe that there is a possibility that the person who drew that thing wasn't trying to point at the little Black kids and say that they were bad. I think that the person who drew it has white supremacy so deeply ingrained in them that when they think, when their mind processes good and bad, when they process good, they see white kids, and when they process bad, they see Black kids. I don't think it was a person who decided, okay, I'm gonna make a poster and make a bad guy. I don't even think it's at that level. I really believe it's so deeply ingrained in some people's minds they don't even see. And another thing is, these things go through at least 3 levels where, you know, you edit it and you look at it, and so many people looked at it and not a single person, it never triggered anybody to say, whoa, wait a minute. Why are all the arrows that say bad pointing at the little brown kids, and why are all the arrows that say good pointing at the white kids? Because they already have that belief ingrained in them. So there's nothing wrong. It's only us who know our kids, know our people, and know that there's good and bad in every race, every country, every anything. We know that there's good and bad, that we see it and we say, wait a minute, what's going on here? And that's a problem.
I mean, you know, the whole idea that people are not aware of the injustices that they cause and that they perpetuate, to me, is just unbelievable. I don't believe it, not for 2 seconds, okay? Because the bottom line is that one of the main premises of white supremacy is that they have a higher IQ and they're more intelligent than everybody on the damn earth, okay? They can figure out how to go to the moon. They can figure out how to go to Mars. Their kids can break down the molecular structure of a leaf, but they cannot determine when they're being racist. That is not, I don't believe that is a mistake. I believe it's a whole orchestrated and organized plan that's constantly being rolled out, because like you said, and I've been in several board meetings where every single thing has been analyzed. Everything. Why do we have a period right here? Why do we have a comma right here? Why is it blue? Why is it now yellow? Why is it, but you couldn't determine that you were putting out a racist, you couldn't determine you were putting out a racist poster. And not only that, the Red Cross has a history of doing this kind of thing. Reportedly, they received about $125 million in donations for Haiti, for disaster relief money. And with that money, they only built 6 homes there. 6. Do you hear me?
I remember 6. That. I remember.
Now, is that an accident? Did they just forget to spend $125 million on the people of Haiti? And this is a congressionally chartered organization, from what I understand, the Red Cross is. Now, let me miss something on my taxes. Let me claim too many, what do you call those? Deductions. And all of a sudden, I'm dragged into tax court. But you have this organization that's been around forever. There's a government. It has some affiliation with the government. They received over $125 million just for this one thing, and nobody figured out that they only built 6 homes, and nobody's being dragged to jail. Let me misappropriate $100 of grant money. I'll be in jail for 20 years, just like these, all of the Black teachers and all of these things. It's not a mistake.
Okay, so you feel strongly about it not being a mistake. I still think it's part of that cycle. I really do. Mm-hmm. I think it's the part of the cycle, and I think that it's working. Just in the same way that every night, for those that do turn on the news, when you turn on the news, there's always a mugshot of a Black guy, and he did something, and he's wanted. If you see that every single day, all your life, there's going to come a time when you are faced with a Black man in your face, and you're going to be scared. You're going to be scared because that image has been pushed at you for so long that you don't see anything wrong with assuming that he's going to do something to you, even if he's not going to do something to you. I think there is a programming that goes on, and it's constant and it's consistent.
Yes, I do believe there is a programming. And I do believe that propaganda is for the purpose of programming, and it is effective, and that's why people engage in it. But at the same time, when you have people who are in leadership positions that, like you said, that poster had to pass so many hands. All of them ain't damn brainwashed. Not all of them. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many injustices. Again, going back to Tamir Rice, I don't know anybody, any parent who believes that it was wrong for that child to be out there with a toy gun and for a police officer to just come and shoot him within 2 seconds. Like, how much brainwashing can there be? At some point, God gave everybody a mind, a brain. At some point, your brain's gonna kick in and like, I don't think that would happen to a white kid. I've never seen that happen to a white kid. I've seen kids play with toy guns before. And I think that a police officer should take time to determine if it's a real gun or not. And I've seen white people with real guns and actually shooting at people and the police and at the police, and the police disarm them and tackle them and use some kind of strategy and don't kill them. I mean, that's just like the Boston bomber, all kinds of people. So Dylan Roof, I mean, I would have assumed that if you killed 9 people that you're armed and dangerous. I would have, you know,
and you're a terrorist.
Right. I could understand that if you shot a shot just to, you know, off the rip in that case, but you got a little kid here and you freaking fatally wound him in 2 seconds. Wow. So I don't think that, you know, some things are a little more obvious, and programming, it's beyond even what programming can do. It's intentional because it's been happening for hundreds of years, and it happens on a daily basis in every institution. Everybody's not brain dead.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that we can agree on is, you know, I know there are going to be people who are saying, well, what's the problem? It's just a poster, get over it. Well, it's not just a poster. It may seem like it's just a poster, but the poster speaks volumes, just like the saying, what is it? A picture speaks 1,000 words.
Oh yeah. Because let me tell you something. If you do something like that to white people, they'll be outraged. Just Jesse Williams standing up there for 6 little short minutes saying things that we know to be true. He has received, there's so many outraged Twitter people out there making all these comments. He's a racist. He alienating white people, all that kind of stuff. They stand up for that kind of thing. So don't tell me to minimize a poster, because let me put a poster with a bunch of white people on it doing the wrong thing. I don't know, they might not have a problem because they know that white supremacy is a stronghold, that even one little poster about white people is not going to do anything, but they will call you racist for no reason.
Absolutely. So you know, you're affirming what I'm saying, that it's not just a poster. There's a lot more to it. And again, this is an ongoing conversation that we've been having. I want to say thank you to my good friend Shaquita Graham. You can check out her courses at, say it, Shaquita.
It's at techco.teachable.com.
Techco.teachable.com. That's where you can log in and take some of Shaquita's courses. I have gone in there myself because I'm a homeschool mom, and she has what I found most impressive about the things that she does is I see little brown kids everywhere. Everywhere there's an opportunity to put them, they're getting some FaceTime. My name is Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses with healthyblackwoman.com and successfulblackwoman.com. And I also want to tell you guys to check out marriedwomensbusiness.com, which is a platform that we're currently building. It's not up yet, but you do have the opportunity to give us your email so that we will let you know when it's up and running. It's a platform that Shaquita Graham and I are building based on the things that we have in common. We're both mothers, we're both wives, and we're both business women. So it's Married Women's Business. Check it out. Thank you guys for watching. And again, thank you, Shaquita, for joining me in this good conversation. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Norma. Thank you, guys.